Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel. Now, for some of our listeners, you're going to be celebrating because, hey, it's March break week. For some of our listeners, you're probably parents, and you're going, oh crap, it's March break week. So however you are celebrating this week, we are celebrating by talking about films set in high school. And here to join me, still looking like a high schooler herself, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
Oh, wow. Now, does that mean I still have the bad perm fan head bangs?
Well, your crimper came in, so you're ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I just aged you right there by saying your crimper.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, get my walker.
Yeah. Right, it's right beside your color changing sweater.
Oh yeah, my Varney.
Okay, yeah, you can hear the metal on the joints just grinding as we try to get through this. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Our high school years were weird for fashion and stuff. So just go with it. Just go with it. All right, but when it comes to high school movies, they've kind of changed over the years. So did you find yourself sitting in one genre or one era of high school films, or did you cross eras?
I really did some deep diving because, I mean, let's be honest, there are movies that are my go-to. When I think high school, there's certain movies that I always talk about. I'm not going to talk about Christian Slater this show.
What?
I know. Yeah. And that's because that's the reaction I was looking for.
It's not because of the restraining order?
Well, he did ask me to stop.
Yeah, it was getting a little weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Christian Slater. But anyways.
But Pump Up the Volume really is such a great movie.
You did. You broke the restraining order.
Yeah.
You talked about him.
Sorry.
Oh. Well, it's been nice knowing all of you later listeners. See you on the other side. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick 3 films each. A keep, a watch, and a pass. The keep is one that we hold in high regard. The watch is one that, you know what? Even Christian Slater would say it's a good, decent film. And then the pass is one, not necessarily a bad film, but one that we wouldn't necessarily go and rewatch afterwards. So, Carrie, your keep film that has no Christian Slater in it whatsoever, but yet still set in high school. What'd you go with?
I'm going with The Craft.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I liked this one.
I think I liked the soundtrack better than the film.
Okay, but I loved it. It was kind of like finding power from kind of the dark side of being the high school outcast, right? I kind of like that.
So you're going with the original 1996 film. Definitely not the 2020 sequel, The Craft Legacy.
Oh, God, they made another one.
They did make another one, actually.
Okay, I wasn't aware. No, I'm going with the original.
But here's the thing. The sequel still has Fairuza Balk in it from the original Craft film. So it is a proper sequel.
Isn't she out of high school now?
Well, of course. But I mean, listen to this cast, though, okay? Just want to put this out there, right? Kaylee Spenny, Fairuza Balk, Michelle Monaghan, David Duchovny's in this. Like, there's actually some really good actors. So I'm kind of surprised that it took them that long to actually get a Craft sequel out there. But it is something that we could actually talk about because it has a 47% tomatometer.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Well, of course I'm going to say that. Of course I'm going to, actually bring things up. But the funny thing is, we could also talk about the first Craft film because it has a 57% tomatometer.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant that the first one had 40. So.
No, the
Okay.
first one's 57%. The Craft Legacy is at 47%.
Well, I am intrigued.
Right?
I feel like I didn't even know there was a sequel.
There a sequel. There's a sequel.
Many years later. How did they do that? Like what?
Well, it came out in 2020, so anything that comes out in 2020 is almost like a stealth drop at that point.
Yeah, but are they continuing along the same storyline with the same?
You talk to me like I've seen the Craft Legacy.
I know.
I just know that it exists. But
Okay.
I mean, it's a road I would go down. I have no problem. I also like the fact that they waited a long time and didn't just jump on it. But I mean, the Craft did well enough, but I don't think well enough to justify an immediate sequel. So, and the fact that you have an original cast member in there, hat tip. All right. I'm going with a film that maybe has one of the highest tomatometers for a movie that we've actually talked about on this show. Sits at 98% on the tomatometer scale. And it's a high school film. So get your ghetto blasters up and crank your Peter Gabriel because we're talking about Say Anything. This, to me, is the signature John Cusack film. Not High Fidelity, not America's Sweethearts.
Not Serendipity.
Not Serendipity. No. Lloyd frickin' Dobler, right? The ends of the earth romantic, punching way above his weight class in trying to court Miss Diane Court, played by Ione Skye, right? This is the ultimate hopeless romantic film. And very quotable too. And both John Cusack and Ione Skye were fantastic in this. Like, and the movie Made in Your Eyes from Peter Gabriel, the song that it is. Not that it's not a good song already, but sometimes you need an iconic moment in a film for a song to go from on the album to a single to regular rotation to it's a moment. In Your Eyes is an absolute moment of a song because of this film. This was one of those things that proved that movies and soundtracks should go hand in hand. They absolutely should. And when you have a song, and it's not like the song was written for the film. It just happens to be the film at that point. And I guarantee you, people were buying ghetto blasters ad nauseum the minute this film came out.
I actually had a pencil sharpener that was shaped like the ghetto blaster. And in class, I remember this. I used to like hold it up above my head. Yeah.
Standing in the rain, holding your pencil sharpener ghetto blaster.
No, it was a thing in class. So I would like raise my hand with my pencil sharpener on the top of my pencil. And I thought I was being cool. Yeah. Good times.
Did you give a pen to someone who gave you their heart?
No. It was, first of all, a pencil. And no, I kept that for myself.
Oh my God. Such a great film. All right. For my watch film, we're talking about a film that we actually covered recently on It's Not That Bad, because this was actually a bit of a surprise for me. Barely Lethal. This was a fun one. Early performance from Haley Steinfeld. My favorite performance from Sophie Turner. Of course, it's got Samuel M.F. Jackson in it. But how much fun was Barely Lethal?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's funny because that wasn't even on my radar, but you're absolutely right. It was a high school film. It was
of course, yeah, because Haley Steinfeld leaves the secret spy agency, goes undercover, not undercover, but like basically goes incognito to enter a high school as a quote unquote Canadian exchange student in order to be able to fit in. And the funny thing is, it plays on the tropes of high school movies because she uses all these high school movies as research for how a proper high schooler should act. So it kind of plays on the genre itself while it's also in the genre itself. So yeah, like if you're looking for a fun, and it's family friendly too. It feels like the kind of movie that would be playing on like a, Sunday afternoon family oriented kind of channel, and you could get away with it. It's a fun film, fun for the whole family.
You're absolutely right. You know, what's funny, because I actually played with the idea of picking Never Been Kissed.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, right? Like an older character goes back to high school and goes undercover.
The thing is, though, remember, Haley Steinfeld wasn't an older character going back to high school.
No, she'd just never been.
Exactly. So she had no idea exactly how to high school, basically. So she's watching all these high school films. But since you mentioned Never Been Kissed.
Oh, that wasn't my pick, though.
I know, but since you mentioned Never Been Kissed, 56%.
Ah, I would defend.
I know you would.
I would defend. I actually really like that movie, but that was not my watch.
So
because
what is your watch?
I'm not going with the obvious.
Okay.
And it's so funny because as I sit here and you mention Say Anything, and I remember the time, I'm thinking all these great movies started popping in my head and flooding me like, I don't know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club. And I'm like, oh, how could you not pick this, and this? But you know what? I'm going to go completely darker, a darker take on high school. I am watching The Faculty.
Another fantastic soundtrack. Oh my God.
Yes. I think maybe that's where I'm going with this. I'm picking all the great soundtracks that I know that we had, and I know that we had the movies to support it. So I actually kind of ran through our VHS collection in my head, and The Faculty. Yeah. You know what? You got to love that concept, right? Where it was kind of like the that Nick Cage movie, like Mom and Dad, where, the adults, the authority are really the baddies, and it's the kids that have to sort it out and save the day. But yeah, the Faculty, where the teachers become zombies or killers or.
Yeah, I can't remember whether it was they were possessed or whatever it was, but
it's a plague or something that overtook.
Listen to this cast though, okay? Because really, it very much was of its time, but also how well have these actors done afterward? Like Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood, Clea Duvall, Jordana Brewster, Usher. But then you also have Famke Janssen, Selma Hayek, Jon Stewart, Robert Patrick, Bebe Neuwirth. Holy freaking crap. This cast is stacked. Absolutely stacked. And the soundtrack. Tell me this wasn't one of those early 2000 soundtracks. Tell me this wasn't on people's list. So on the soundtrack, you've got The Offspring, Creed, Soul Asylum, Garbage, Stabbing Westward. You know we love Stabbing Westward here. Sean Mullins, Oasis. You have a supergroup called the Class of 99 doing their cover of Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. Now listen to who is in the Class of 99 supergroup. Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction on drums. You had Marilyn Linobel from Porno for Pyros as on bass, and Matt Serletic from Collective Soul on keyboards. That's a super group around that time.
And it was a great song, too.
Well, of course. It's Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. Of course it's a good song.
Yeah, but it was, really well done.
Exactly. And that's
classic.
That's the thing. You have a classic high school song in what becomes a classic DVD collection movie. Perfect.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, your new foundation. Use PDF spaces to generate a presentation. Grab your docs, your permits, your moves. AI levels up your pitch, gets it in a groove. Choose a template with your timeless cool. Come on now, let's flex those tools. Draft, design, deliver, make it sing. AI builds the deck so you can build that thing. Do that, do that, do that with Acrobat.
Learn more at adobe.com/do-that-with-Acrobat.
This episode is brought to you by Cologuard. Do you know what's really scary? Not screening for colon cancer when you turn 45. The Cologuard test is non-invasive, requires no special prep or time off work, and ships right to your door. In just 3 simple steps, Cologuard takes the scare out of colon cancer screening. If you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about the Cologuard test. Cologuard is available by prescription only. Learn more or request a prescription today at Cologuard.com/screen.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner, by knockout, is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
All right, we've gushed enough. What's your pass pick?
I know I'm going to take heat for this, but it wasn't my favorite, and I found it was just annoying and contrived. I'm going to pass on Clueless, even though I know that it was kind of a time. It was, I mean, they even brought it back as a musical. It does have its genre. I just found that it wasn't for me. It was like one of those, scripts that you could literally, pinpoint. You could find that turning point where the well-to-do, the wealthy it girls, have that turn of heart. And it was just so by the number. It was paint by the number. And I just, great movie, I'm sure, but wasn't for me. So I'm going to pass.
Written and directed by Amy Heckerling. But when you take a look at everything else that she's done, I think it does fit in, right? Because you have, and again, I'm talking about films that she was director and writer on, not ones where she was just producer. So she was director for Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Johnny Dangerously, National Lampoon's European Vacation. She directed and wrote the first 2 Look Who's Talking films. And then later on down the road, Loser, I Could Never Be Your Woman, and a movie that we have talked about on this show already, Vamps, which was her last film that she did. Vamps was fun, though.
See, I liked most of those movies that you've mentioned. It was just this one. And again, it's not a knock on Alicia Silverstone. It wasn't necessarily the actor's fault. It wasn't necessarily the script. It was just paint by the numbers.
But let's continue our little bit of a tradition here on this, because it is a 90s film, which means it has a 90s soundtrack. And this one, again, this might have been where the soundtrack was better than the film itself. Cracker, The Counting Crows, Luscious Jackson, Radiohead, The Beastie Boys, Muddy Muddy Boss Tones, Coolio, Supergrass. It's a fantastic soundtrack. And I guarantee you, even people who never watched the film, and I'm one of them, I've never actually watched Clueless, ever. But I'm pretty sure I've got a copy of the soundtrack. All right. My past pick, I feel like I should be prefacing like you did. I may break the internet on this one. Because my past pick is another film that has an iconic soundtrack. And I remember back in the day having this soundtrack on double vinyl. Yeah, I dated myself, but the movie's older too. American Graffiti. And right now everyone's like, how dare you sully at the altar of George Lucas? Well, let me explain. The thing about American Graffiti is kind of like an homage to the era of cruising, right? Hopping in your car with your friends, driving around, no plan, just being. And I get it. It reminds me a little bit, though, of Dazed and Confused. And I love Dazed and Confused, but I think the thing with Dazed and Confused is that I felt it focused more on the characters than it did on the idea of just hanging out. It was Dazed and Confused was a character piece. American Graffiti was an era piece. And it really also leaned into the soundtrack with the Wolfman as the DJ, kind of queuing up the songs. You know, you've got Harrison Ford in there. You got Ron Howard in there. So, I mean, it is of its time. I just found American Graffiti boring. And that's even despite being directed by George Lucas. This felt like just a wax nostalgic of a time gone by. And I don't feel like it. And again, this is my personal opinion. If you love American Graffiti, hat tip to you. Go watch it again. But for me, it just didn't resonate with me. And maybe it's because I'm not of that era, right? Maybe it's because I didn't, grow up, cruising in cars and hanging out at like the pull-up drive-in kind of restaurants kind of thing.
But your hair would have been on point.
Oh, my hair is always on point. No matter the era, my hair is on point. Although I think my hair would have fit in more on Dazed and Confused. But still, regardless of.
I want to see you in like the leather jacket with like the white t-shirt and the jean cuffs rolled up at the bottom.
You want me to look like a T-bird?
Yeah. With the like lots of hairspray, stacked hair, kind of the eagle look. Yeah.
I'm starting to agree with Christian Slater in the restraining order.
Wow.
All right, Gary, please remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and pass high school movies are.
I am keeping The Craft, watching The Faculty, and passing on Clueless.
All right, I am keeping Say Anything. I am watching Barely Lethal. Even though we watched it already, I'd still watch it again. And I'm passing on American Graffiti. Gary, thank you so much for this. And to you high schoolers out there, forget March break. Get the hell back to work. Save your parents. But until next time, you know the drill. If there is a topic that you want us to cover on Keep Watch Pass or a movie that you want us to cover on It's Not That Bad, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, we talked about music a lot, so go check out our music show, There Can Only Be One, where we do talk about a bunch of soundtracks. I know we actually talked about the Craft soundtrack on our little sister show on that channel, Spin, Shuffle, Skip. But until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay, you guys are awesome. This is Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Tap the banner to learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number, 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number, save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.